helping us. And I want to say a big thank you to Crystal and Drake, who are helping us go live out there. Today's service is focused on blessings. And to begin that thought, Judy's going to play a fabulous tune that both of us remembered from the beginnings of our church lives. It is a song called "O Thou Fount of Every Blessings." And the music is by John Wythe and lyrics by Robert Robinson, written in the 1700s. And in musical terminology, this would be "O Thou Fount of Every Blessing," improvisation on a theme by Dr. Judy Blackwell. Thank you, Dr. Judy. That was beautiful. You know, the words I remembered at some point in time this week because we were talking about hymns or songs about blessings. And then we started saying there's not a bunch of them out there, which is kind of weird. So, "O thou fount of every blessing, tune my heart to sing thy grace. Streams of mercy, never ceasing, call for songs of loudest praise." Which really has a lot to do with what I'm talking about today and what we're going to be focusing on our blessings. And so when we start this service today, I kind of have a threefold focus. And if you notice, I have 3 candles, which I'll light a different one at different times during the service. But one of the focuses is on Divine Mother. Divine Mother, as she radiates her love through our lives and kind of shows up in Mother Earth, in our homes. And then I want to spend a little bit of time saying thank you to Mother Myrtle Fillmore. I've been spending a lot of time reading her books again as I am in the process of retiring as a Unity minister, and she's the reason I became a Unity minister. If you ever get a chance to go to Unity Village, and the first time you step on the property, you feel her presence there still, with her rose gardens and the apple trees and everything that was so important to her. But she left us so many lessons of what it means to be an expression of that mother's love on our planet. And then the other piece is our earthly mothers and the blessings that each of those give us. It may be mothers, it may be grandmothers, could be aunts, stepmothers, adopted mothers, mothers of choice. The significance of motherhood is not in the biological process. I want you to hear that from me again. It's the willingness to include another's life as a part of yours. And so I want to begin with a prayer for mothers that is going to end with a beautiful rendition of You Raise Me Up. So Robin, you may want to get in your place. That's going to be by Robin and Judy. And so if you will pray with me, Divine Mother, beloved oneness, we rejoice for the mothers of this world who share themselves completely and bringing more of your divine love into the world. We revel in that one love and light expressed as mother energy, and we are grateful for mothers everywhere. We are grateful that we get to experience the beauty of the brilliance shining in their souls and acknowledging the peace and purity of love that they bring to our lives. We send forth a blessing to all mothers everywhere that they are embraced with the eternal experience of joy for giving themselves to your divine purpose. Thank you, God, for blessing us with sacred mothers everywhere. May they know our gratitude, and may they be fulfilled in this day. And in loving oneness we pray, knowing that it is so, and so it is, and yes, blessed be. Robin. That was beautiful. That actually painted a beautiful sound picture for us to continue painting upon this morning. And so you will see this picture more than once today. Most of us at some point have painted a picture of our mother in our own minds. One of possibly unconditional love. And it's the same picture that emblazes our hearts and our minds when any issues and challenges arise. However, I would be amiss to not say that not everyone has been blessed with that type of a physical mother. And some of us may have not been able to pull off that brand of mothering 24/7 either. The reality is that mothers are human. We're moving through the same life experiences and challenges that everyone else faces. And we have our own ups and downs. And we respond to life in much the same way as other people do. However, this picture is a picture of Divine Mother that I would like for you to tune into this morning for a moment. It's a perfect example of her pouring her light out onto the earth. An example of unconditional love. A place to rest with open arms. A place where all the beauty is that we see every day. And you know, we don't have to go anywhere to find this Divine Mother. She lives inside of each of us. She's been with us all the time and is always waiting patiently for us just to ask for her assistance, to connect, to commune. And so in this morning, we're going to focus on that light, knowing that we are blessed. Our affirmation this morning is going to be, when I focus on what's right with my life, I am blessed. So I'm going to ask you to say that with me. When I focus on what's right with my life, I am blessed. And one more time, I want us to say that part together. When I focus on what's right with my life, I am blessed. And hopefully I'll be blessed with a lighter that works. There we go. So I light this first candle for the Divine Mother, and I'm going to ask those of you that are in the audience here physically, or those of you that are watching from your homes, to begin the reset breath process. And so we exhale first. And in this now moment, because there are so many things and experiences that all of us are having to deal with, I'm going to ask that we exhale one more time. And just release anything that might be burdening you this morning. And begin in this now moment to allow your breath to balance. And in this now moment, drop 18 inches to your heart space. And feel that Divine Mother's love. And then as you begin to feel that love that's always there, begin to bring to mind all the things that are right with your life. Just let them pass through your mind. Because that Divine Mother shines a light even in the darkest moments. A light that raises us over the challenges of anything that we might experience in life. When I focus on what is right with my life. There's nothing too small or too large to make its way through the portals of my mind this morning. When I focus on what is right. This is my journey. of focusing on what is right. A journey of blessings, knowing that what I focus on gets bigger and bigger. More blessings, more blessings. Blessings of the Divine Mother. Blessings from Mother Earth. When I focus on what is right with my life, I am blessed. Blessed in the silence. In the silence. Listen to the rhythm of your heartbeat. The same heart that is the heart of the Divine Mother. The heart of the cosmos. The whisper within of the Sacred Mother. Wisdom in your own being. The sounds within, expressing her divine feminine love in every moment. The rhythm of your heartbeat, your connection, focusing on what is right. I am blessed. And so we remember the blessings of Divine Mother, and we hear her call to us. Ancient Mother, I hear you calling. Ancient Mother, I hear your song. Ancient Mother, I hear you calling. Ancient Mother, I hear your song. Ancient Mother, I hear you calling. Ancient Mother, I hear your song. Ancient Mother, I hear you calling. Ancient Mother, I hear your song. Ancient Mother, I hear you calling. Ancient Mother, I hear your song. Ancient Mother, I hear you calling. Ancient Mother, I hear your song. Ancient Mother, I hear your song. So since January, we as a spiritual community have been focusing on the art of abundance. And believe it or not, one of the rules of the art of abundance is focusing on what you're blessed, where you're blessed. Dennis Merritt Jones says in The Art of Abundance that a major requirement in living an abundant life is to count your blessings, or to look for what's right in the world. When I focus on what's right with my life, I am blessed. When we do, we seem to get more of that heaped up, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, for that's the law. So what stops that? We focus on what's wrong. And there's so much out in the world today that I see people talking about that they are labeling as wrong. And what Dennis is trying to tell us in The Art of Abundance is if we focus on that too much, guess what? It will come back to us, heaped up, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, because that's the law. The law is whatever you focus on gets bigger. We know that, but we forget. It is so easy. I watched when people lost electricity again. It is so easy after 24 hours to get snarly. Yes. I watched my 88-year-old mother not want to go to Vicki and Logan's house because she didn't want to leave her house. You know, however we get through experiences, we get through them. But I also know that when I focus on being blessed, I get through them easier. That's difficult at times. And so the second person I want to focus on a little bit is Myrtle, because Myrtle taught that over and over and over and over. And some of you have actually seen this video probably before. But I know at least I've got one neophyte in the audience to Unity this morning. And I thought that this would be a good reminder for all of us about the life of Myrtle.
She's known as Myrtle Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity along with her husband Charles Fillmore. But she was born Mary Carolyn Page on August 6, 1845, the seventh of 9 children. As a child, she adopted the name Myrtle and would later reject the teachings of her strict religious parents. Ever since she was a little girl, Myrtle had been sick. At a young age, she contracted tuberculosis. For many years, She believed she was incurably weak and sickly.
I had all the ills of mind and body that I could bear. Medicine and doctors ceased to give me relief, and I was in despair.
That was until Myrtle discovered new spiritual ideas and principles we now call unity. The year was 1886, and Myrtle was in her early 40s. She and her husband Charles attended a lecture by metaphysician Dr. E.B. Weeks of Chicago. Myrtle left the talk with a stronger faith and an understanding of her innate divine potential for healing through affirmative prayer.
It flashed upon me that I might talk to the life in every part of my body and have it do just what I wanted. I began to teach my body and got marvelous results.
Instead of seeing her body as weak, inefficient, and diseased, she began speaking words of strength and power to every part of her body: her liver, stomach, abdomen, limbs, eyes, and heart.
I didn't get discouraged at their being slow to wake up, but kept right on, both silently and aloud, declaring words of truth until they did respond. And neither did I forget to tell them that they were free, unlimited spirit. I told them they were the centers of life and energy, omnipresent.
Myrtle began regularly affirming,
I am a child of God, and therefore I do not inherit sickness.
By repeating this affirmation, Myrtle believed she was going to get better, and 2 years later, she did. In 1888, she was healed of the tuberculosis condition that had threatened her life. Myrtle remained committed to blessing and encouraging her body with true thoughts and words.
I became very watchful as to what I thought and said. I didn't let any worried or anxious thoughts into my mind. And I stopped speaking gossipy, frivolous, petulant, angry words.
Myrtle was excited by her healing discovery, and so were her family and friends. She began working with others in need of healing. In time, her husband Charles Fillmore began his own practice of prayer and meditation. He began to heal from an ice skating accident he had at age 10. In 1889, inspired by Myrtle's transformation, the Fillmores founded the Unity Movement in Kansas City, Missouri, as a healing ministry based on the power of prayer and the power of thoughts to create reality. In 1890, the couple pioneered a prayer outreach that grew into Silent Unity, the 24-hour, 7-day-a-week prayer ministry that still serves the world today.
I want everybody to know about this beautiful, true law and to use it. It is not a new discovery, but when you use it and get the fruits of health and harmony, it will seem new to you, and you will feel that it is your own discovery.
Myrtle Fillmore made her transition on August 6, 1931, at age 86. Her work lives on through Silent Unity and the inspiring manuscripts and personal papers in the Myrtle Fillmore collection at the Unity Library and Archives. The collection is being digitized for online access. To learn more or help support this effort, visit unity.org.
And so most of the time when we have live services, we have a moment to talk with other people. There's a few of you sitting by somebody, and I know you can talk to them. And I want you to acknowledge what it is about Myrtle's life that jumped out at you specifically. Because I know the first time that I ever heard, I am a child of God and therefore I do not inherit sickness, I had 4 million questions in my mind. What does that really mean? But it may not be that. It may be something else that you noticed. But share with somebody for a few minutes what you noticed. And Pat, there's a Benita way back there if you want to walk back there and be with her. I know she's open to a conversation probably.
Nothing. Don't worry about it. I'm not completely destroying the story.
So that video, I do know that Crystal has it, and she might can post it on our Facebook page, but you can also go to unity.org and find all kinds of videos. That's my favorite, because you can probably tell if you know anything about me. I was a big Myrtle fan and always have been, and have had people tell me that knows me, maybe you are a reincarnation of her, and it wouldn't surprise me if I'm not. I very much am in alignment with what she believes. In fact, if you've read any of my Facebook posts lately, you will know that I've not been to the doctor since Austin was born. I don't do traditional medicine anymore because it doesn't work for me. I want everybody else to do what they want to do, but I have totally lived my life the way that Myrtle lived hers, and it's worked for me. Now, yes, there's been challenges. There have been challenges because people have told me that I was crazy. There have been challenges because people didn't understand, and they wanted me to explain to them, but it's a consciousness thing. And when I say that, I hope you understand what I'm talking about. It's not just about learning pieces of information that we do in our Western society. It's about shifting your consciousness, knowing that you are one with the Divine Mother Presence, knowing that if it works for one person, it can work for everybody, and being willing to step out there one step at a time and live your life that way. So I thought I would take a few words, one being home, that Myrtle talked about and has talked about a lot. You know, she's really only written 2 books other than the We Wisdom magazines that she co-authored. One is called How to Let God Help You. It's an amazing book. And the other one is Myrtle's Healing Letters. How to Let God Help You was one that she just kind of sat and created, but Myrtle's Healing Letters are letters that she actually sent to people in the days when she first started Silent Unity, and the only way people could get prayer, because there were not telephones or anything at that point in time, to Silent Unity, is they would mail her a letter, and she would respond. And so the healing letters are basically some of her responses. The majority of her responses are about healing and prosperity, which we will touch on a little bit today. Both of those things were very important to her. But also home, and before I get in that, I want you to know that one of the most interesting things to me the first time I went to the village, and back in those days, we were able to walk through a lot of the facilities that they don't let people walk through anymore. Myrtle did not have a kitchen in her house. I was like, woohoo! Who does that? Myrtle decided with her husband Charles that it was much more important for her to focus on her children as they were growing and the Silent Unity ministry, getting it up and running. So they built right out the back door a home for Charles's mother, who came and lived on the property with them and cooked all the meals for them. So she had a very different idea about what home was about. Myrtle said home was a sacred trust. And she believed home to be the most important factor in all of life. That's pretty interesting, isn't it? Important not only to the immediate family that lived there, but trickling out or rippling out into the entire world. I think those of us that have worked in the realm of counseling and social work have begun to see homes fall apart more and more over the years and realize that that's really some of the truth. Is that some of the things that go on in our world today sometimes happen because there was a breakdown in the home. So Myrtle said that every home takes on a prevailing thought. I think that's an interesting idea in itself. And she says that prevailing thought should be love, but it's not always that. Some of you may have seen some of my writings in the last week or so, because I said my mother's prevailing thought and the thought that went through my home growing up was cleanliness. Cleanliness. Everything had to be clean all the time. Beds had to always be made, dishes had to always be washed, floors had to be mopped every day, vacuumed every other day, dusted every other day. Everything had to be clean. Yes, I see Becky going, you can only imagine what little Denise did with all that. My job was, when they moved into the house they're in now, to clean my room, which kind of got a lick and a promise. To clean the living room, which thank heavens no one ever went in except for me to practice the piano, so that wasn't a hard job. But the main bathroom, I didn't like that. Bathrooms are still not my favorite things to clean, although I like a clean bathroom. So, my mother still, at 88, believes in cleanliness. Believes that's one of the most important things. When you begin to think about the home you grew up in, and you may not know that right now, but what was the prevailing thought, the thing that you focused on the most in that house? Because Myrtle said that's important to know. Because that's the ripples you're putting out into the world. So, maybe that energy even penetrates into our yards and the surrounding earth. And what Myrtle would say is that if there are energies in your home that are not in alignment with love, you need to raise your personal vibration to that of love. I, if I be lifted up, draw all humankind up with me. That's a scripture, and it was touted to only have to do with Jesus, but it has to do with all of us. When we raise our vibration to a higher level, then everything around us, if we hold it there, will be at that level. Now, what generally happens for most of us is we raise our vibration, and then somebody else is way down here, and so we come down here to meet them, instead of holding our vibration there. So just think about that. One of the affirmations that Myrtle used, other than the one I used this morning, was divine love through me blesses and multiplies you. Let me explain what that is, because we're going to use that in a few minutes. Myrtle believed, just as Jesus the Master Teacher did, that there was a divine perfection in every human being. There was a divine perfection in the trees and in the bushes and in the animals and in everything. And if she could hold that vibration and know and see that in another human being, she could call it out. I'm going to say that again because that's something that you may not be aware of that Myrtle Fillmore believed in so fully. She believed that I didn't have to think about that person as something less than. That I could see that person fully as the divine perfection that they really are, and I could say, divine love through me blesses and multiplies you. You, the divine perfection. Not you, the skanker ball. Because that's sometimes what we focus on. Remember that when I focus on what's right in my world, I am blessed. When I'm focused on what is wrong in my world, probably not. So, home. Think about your own home. And then the next word that I wanted to focus on was this one. Because this is the one that most people think about when they think about Myrtle because of body and healing. I wore this morning so I could prove to you all that even though I do believe that I'm always whole and well and free, I do have a mask. It has a kitty cat face on it, so that fits for me. I don't necessarily wear that for me. I'll be honest with you. Because I don't believe that somebody's going to give me something. But I wear it for other people to be comfortable when I'm in their presence. If that makes sense. So, the body. One of the things that Myrtle said that I want you to hear is sometimes the soul gets so anxious about what it wishes to do that it tends to neglect the body. Is there anybody in here that's ever neglected their body? We're so intent on what we're doing and working and being that we forget about the body. And Myrtle says it's not fair to the body. She also says it's not fair of those people who have to take care of us when we've messed the body totally up. So think about that. Ouch, I said to myself. That's an interesting quote to even take in, that it's not fair for me to allow my body to get in such a shape that somebody else has to take care of me. Think about that. So, to heal, we must continue to bless our bodies. Did you hear what it said about in the video, how Myrtle continued to bless her body even after she was healed? Some of us, after we have healed something, then we forget about it and go on. But she continued to sit in the silence every day and continue to bless her body so that it continued to multiply in that way. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies you, the health of my body. And the more I bless my body, the more my body is going to bless me. So one of the things that I want us to do this morning is I want us to send some of those blessings to some people, that you just decide who. I want you to think about somebody in your family first that needs this blessing. And the blessing is going to be divine love through me blesses and multiplies you. So just call in your mind the face of somebody in your family that you want to send that blessing to, and that you can hold the image of their perfect, right, divine self. And then let's move to our friends. Think of a friend that could use this blessing right now. And divine love through me blesses and multiplies you. And then let's scooch you out a little bit and think about all of humanity. Just pick someone randomly. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies you. And then think about the earth. Especially the earth around here for the last few weeks. We've had some tumultuous times. But we know what earth is and the beauty of it. So divine love through me blesses and multiplies you. And now think about your mother. Whether she's still in the body, or whether she is no longer in the body, whether she was a divine lover or not. You're going to see her in that way. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies you. And so if you look at those words, they're up on the screen this morning, that is a very different way of praying. Myrtle would have never prayed for somebody's illness to go away because she would not have labeled it that. In fact, you heard her say that after she was healed of tuberculosis, she never spoke of it again. She never talked gossip with anybody. She didn't do anything negative in her life. In her words, she only did this blessing for people. She never said that there weren't people that didn't walk in through her life that were skanky. That's my word. But she said she looked for the divinity that was within them and sent them this blessing. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies you. So I'm going to light one more candle. And this candle is for all of our mothers. And whomever played that role for you. And we ask that all mothers on this earth feel that blessing. And that in this now moment they feel love. And they feel compassion. And they know that Mother Earth, the Divine Mother, has wrapped her loving arms around them. And we pray that all the young new mothers feel the joy of motherhood. May they have your wisdom, Divine Mother, flowing through them always as they make tough decisions for the well-being of their families. May they feel strong. And as we continue to focus today on what is right with mothers, we spend a moment sending our blessing to mothers that are in need of direction. Mothers that are in need of divine guidance. Mothers that are in need of Holy Spirit. And we ask that they be filled up with your love and your light, so that they can begin to see who they truly are. And so in this now moment, we hold our hands out to all the mothers in the world. And we say, divine love through me blesses and multiplies you. Oh, what a difference you've made.
What a difference you've made in my life. What a difference you've made in my life. You're the sunshine day and night. What a difference you've made in my life. What a change you have made in my heart. What a change you have made in my heart. You've replaced all the broken parts. Oh, what a change you have made in my heart. Love to me was just a word in a song that had been way overused. But you gave love new meaning, and I want to join in the singing and spread the news. What a difference you've made in my life. What a difference you've made in my life. You're my sunshine, day and night. What a difference you've made in my life. What a difference you've made in my life. What a difference you've made in my life. You're my sunshine day and night. Oh, what a difference you've made. Oh, what a difference you've made in my life.
Pat, that was truly beautiful, and I could feel that. So I told you that, and it doesn't want to do again.
Try now. There you go.
There we go. That I wanted to give you a little bit before we talk about offerings. That I want you to hear a little bit about what Myrtle says about prosperity. I will throw out there that Charles Fillmore, and I'll just be brave and say this, I know it's going to go live, said that being poor was a sin. Now you're like, what in the world? That means poor in your thoughts. If I am poor in my thoughts and I cannot rise above that, that is a sin. That's error thought. I'm not even looking for a blessing. Does that make sense? So Myrtle said that you can have permanent prosperity. I wrote an article on my Facebook about that the other day. But she said the only way to become permanently prosperous and successful is through quickening, awakening, and bringing into righteousness, all the indwelling resources of spirit. Which means it's not about doing out there, which we've got all wrong in our society. She says when we develop our soul and express its talents and capabilities in loving service to humankind, our needs will be supplied in bountiful measures. It's important to Myrtle and Charles for you to hear that. It's not just about making a living, and we get confused about that. It's about service to mankind. The only person who knows if what I am doing to make money is service to mankind is me. And the people that I touch. And so this affirmation is probably going to be a little weird and a little over the top. I have had it in my realms for years and never used it because I knew some people would freak out with it. But I'm just going to allow you all to be here with it. It's a Myrtle affirmation. And I just want you to see it. I am open to receiving floods of financial abundance with ease. That's the first part. So that I may be able to do what?
Give back.
Give back even more to the world around me. There's the deal. Now, I see a lot of people in the world working spiritual law, the law of attraction, and making lots and lots of money, but they're not doing this. So the deal is they are not happy, if you really pay attention to them. I have a very, very close friend, Jennifer McCoy, who's a lawyer in town, and she said that when she was growing up, she told her mother, what I want to do when I grow up is make millions and millions of dollars. And her mother said, why? And she said, so I can be a philanthropist. Wow. Those of you that know Jennifer, that's what she does. She does make lots and lots of money. But I don't know, even with us, she's given us some chunks of change at times. She gives money to organizations because she wants to serve humankind and help others. And the interesting thing, in the scriptures it says, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all these things shall be added unto you. But we want the all these things shall be added unto us, and then to seek the kingdom of heaven. That's what Myrtle was talking about. So Myrtle would very easily come up with this kind of an affirmation. So I want you to say it with me once, and then I just want you to sit with it for a minute before we say it one more time. I am open to receiving floods of, some of you are barely talking. Because you're scared of saying this. Because if this happens, your world's going to be different. Tomorrow. Ready? I am open to receiving floods of financial abundance with ease, so that I may be able to give back even more to the world around me. Now pause for just a moment and just see how that feels inside of you. Because that's the consciousness piece. Can I really wrap my mind around that it's okay? It's okay to have floods of financial abundance. It's okay. We've been taught that it's spiritual to be poor. So bless our hearts, we're just real spiritual, but we're poor. It's okay to have floods of financial abundance when I'm going to use it to give back more to the world. So let's say it one more time. I am open to receiving floods of financial abundance with ease so that I may be able to give back even more to the world around me. So this morning we're not going to do our sacred walk of abundance, but I know that Benita will take anything that you want to give her before you leave. But I will tell those of you that are watching us that if you go to unityofmusiccity.com and to the donate button, it can just hook you up. And I hope you will play with that affirmation, because it may do some shifting in your own consciousness. So before we end today, we're going to do two of the things we usually always do. We're going to do the prayer of protection, and yes, then we're going to sing Love Train. So join me in the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Let me say before you start playing, if you look this up online, the "and all is well" is not there. People added that 100 years ago. James Dillett Freeman was the poet laureate of Unity, and he said that's a given. We don't need that. You already know that. If wherever we are God is, duh, it is all well. But people, through the hundreds of years, decided, well, we're going to add that. So one more time, and then Pat's going to jump up here and lead us in Love Train. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
I need help, so y'all need to help me, please. People all over the world join hands, start a love train, a love train. People all over the world join hands, start a love train, hey, a love train. On the next stop that we make, it's gonna be Washington. Yes. Tell all the folks in England and India too. Hey, you know you don't want to miss the train at the station, because we gotta keep it riding on the route. Well, people all over the world join hands, start a love train, hey, a love train. People all over the world join hands, start a love train, and tell all of the brothers and sisters in Africa, and tell all the folks in South America and Canada too. I do not want you to miss the train at the station, but if you do, I'll be sorry. Oh, I'll be sorry for you. Well, people all over the world join hands, start a love train, a love train. People all over the world join hands, start a love train, a love train. People all